Pazzi Conspiracy is a famous historical moment during Italian Renaissance in 1478. In the modern culture, Pazzi Conspiracy had been portrayed in several media, such as a plot in the famous game franchise named Assassin's Creed. Historically, it was a plot to overthrow the Medici rulers of the Florence. The Pazzi and other nobles felt that the Medici rule was too hegemonic and wanting to take over place and change the political structure in Florence. To against the influence of Medici, the Pazzi and their allies made a plot to take over the control of the city from the Medici.
That damned assassin! His investigation threatens our plans!
Don't worry. I'll deal with Giovanni. I've already got something in mind. And then, nothing will stand in our way anymore.
However, Medici has strong allies, just like Alberti family and the other allies. One of them was a noble who became assassin brotherhood in Italy. They were Auditore family. This family also has a strong influence to control Florence at the banking business. Afraid of Pazzi, which had been ruled by Francesco de Pazzi, Jacopo de Pazzi, Rodrigo Borgia, and the other allies, Lorenzo de Medici with Uberto Alberti and Giovanni Auditore made an investigation to Pazzi plan to take control Florence.
Capture. Has he spoken yet?
In the other hand, riots were everywhere across the Firenze. The brawl between Auditore and Pieri de Pazzi happened only about who is the best noble in the Firenze. And of course, Auditore fought for honor and brought back the name of Auditore. Then Pieri kept mocking if the Auditore was only begging to the gods. And here was why they kept against each other.
Insieme per la vittoria! Insieme! Silenzio, my friends! Silenzio!
After the investigation, Giovanni told to Lorenzo about behind the scenes. He saw Pope Sixtus IV also join to their scenes, since Rodrigo Borgia persuaded him to make sure that Medici had dismissed the Pope's order. Besides that, Rodrigo claimed that Auditore was a threat to the scenes. And yes, Rodrigo had a role to corrupt Uberto Alberti and try to execute all of Auditore family. At first, the guard arrested Giovanni and two brothers of Auditore. Uberto made the scenes of execution and the mourning. Meanwhile, the other Auditore sent a message to rescue Giovanni and his sons.
Ezio Auditore? What are you doing here at this hour?
But it was too late. Rodrigo Borgia considered if one of Auditore's brothers had escaped from the execution for this morning. Rodrigo believed if that boy would come to the execution. To catch the remains of Auditore, Uberto made a speech of lies in front of people of Firenze. So, he could provoke his anger.
I'm afraid I know nothing of these documents.
He's lying!
And yes, Ezio Auditore, the guy Rodrigo mean, came to his death with his family. Unfortunately, it was too late for him. Giovanni and his son was murdered in front of Ezio before he had saved them.
Roberto and one of them! You may take our lives this day, but we will have yours in return, I swear! We will! Father!
There! Grab the boy! He's one of them!
I'll kill you for what you've done!
Guards! Arrest him!
Felt so angry, Ezio made a redemption by killed Roberto Alberti. He swore in the name of his father and family that the person who had killed his family would pay his vengeance.
You love? Yes, I would. And I have. The Auditori are not dead! I'm still here! Me! Ezio! Ezio Auditore!
Time by the time, the scenes of Pazzi would have been uncovered. After killed Uberto, Ezio met his uncle and the friends. They assume if someone has a big operation to against Medici after killed Giovanni. So, Ezio had made some investigation with their allies to reveal the reason why his father and brother was murdered in front of people of Firenze. In Firenze, Ezio expected a place which has considered as a place for Pazzi to make their scenes. In the meeting, Ezio found the Pazzi, Rodrigo, and the other nobles there. Rodrigo noticed Jacopo de Pazzi's unusual behavior and asked if he was worried about the possibilities of the Medici suspecting anything. Before he could respond, he was interrupted by Francesco, claiming that the Medici are too stupid and arrogant to notice anything that could possibly go wrong. But Jacopo de Pazzi was afraid if Francesco underestimated the enemies too much, just like what happened with Pieri, Francesco's son in Monteriggioni.
Io hai avuto la fine che meritavi! Spero che brutto!
In April 1478, at the Duomo, Lorenzo de' Medici and his family attended a big event. According to information that Ezio got, this event was a trap to end the life of Medici. To anticipate Pazzi's plan, Ezio walked through the crowd by eavesdropping. And yes, Ezio's suspicion was true. He saw Francesco and Bernardo Baroncelli attack Giuliano de' Medici, Lorenzo's brother. He also noticed Antonio Maffei and Stefano Baglioni's appearance at the Duomo. Ezio saw them trying to kill Lorenzo. Unfortunately, Giuliano was dead in Francesco's hands, and Lorenzo was hurt but safe. Ezio helped Lorenzo to escape and remained Francesco with wound in his leg. After discussing more about Francesco, Ezio decided to assassinate Francesco this night. In the same time, Jacopo was doing a campaign to people of Firenze. And yes, seems like Francesco paid his arrogance by his death, just like his son who had been killed by Ezio.
Francesco?
Since the plan to displace the Medici has failed, Jacopo had run away from Firenze and stayed in San Gimignano for a while. But he was caught and brought back. Historically, Jacopo was tortured and then hanged from the Palazzo della Noria, next to the decomposing corpse of Salviati. He buried at Santa Croce, but the body was dug up and thrown into a ditch. However, in Assassin's Creed 2 video game, Jacopo had been killed by Rodrigo Borgia because he failed to take control of Firenze and prepare the war to the Medici.
It's all right. I do.
No. Please. Don't.
Please don't what?
I can fix this. Only spare me.
No.